Hi, very good afternoon and a very happy weekend to all of you. Uh, COVID-19 has witnessed, multiple industry shifts, and the topic that we're picking up today is the rise of boutique firms in India, and we have three panelists. But before that, let me just thank PRPOI, basically the content creators, Tarun, Sonali, and Pooja, for putting up this act together and keep spreading the knowledge among the PR community, the audiences. So I look forward to each one of you contributing effectively to this. So let me introduce my first guest today to the show, uh, in no order of preference, but I'll just go by the alphabetical order. Lakshmi, Dhana Lakshmi, as we call her, comes with close to 2 decades of experience in PR and agency line of business. She has worked across all sectors, and she's very good at media relationships. She loves to listen to the brand and also deliver. So we hear more from her. So let's welcome Lakshmi.
Hi, Mr. Rao. Thank you so much for extending, the invitation, and thank you so much, PRPOI, the team members. I'm Lakshmi,
Yeah.
like
Just two
Mr.
lines
Rao
about
mentioned.
you before we move on to the next guest.
Right. So I've been in the industry for the last 20 years. I, of course,
Your audio is
Mr.
breaking,
Rao,
Lakshmi.
yeah, can you hear me? So I started my PR career in 2000 and been in the industry for 20 years. And it's been a great journey, for me. I was working with a few multiple, organizations. And in 2017, I had a chance to um, take over a company of international PR agency. And yeah, I have 6 to 7 colleagues with me. We are all working together. And yeah, that's about me for now. I'll wait to hear from others.
Sorry, we seem to have lost Raghavendra for a minute, but let's welcome Suhasini and Malvika to the panel. Suhasini, why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll ask Malvika to do so.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you, PRPOI, Tarun, Pooja, and Sonali. Thank you so much for having us here and for this significant discussion. Hope you will all enjoy it. I'm Suhasini. I'm the founder of Stellent Communications. I have about 25 years of experience in PR and communications, and 16 and a half of which have been as founder of Stellent. We are a boutique agency working out of Bombay, and we specialize in working with VCs and startups. That's about me. Over to Malvika.
Hi everyone, I'm Malvika. I'm a partner at Intellico, and I've actually been with Intellico since 2015. I did the whole rut where I was with a bigger agency. I've been in-house with brands as their brand manager. I think all of that just took a toll on me, and I decided to take a break until I found Sonali, who heads Intellico. I joined her, and then from there, there's actually been no looking back. And we are a boutique agency, and it's been a lot of fun. There are a lot of challenges, but I think the whole point is about overcoming challenges in a smart way. And I'm looking forward to this discussion. And thank you, everyone at PRPOI. And we hope it's going to be a great session today.
So we're going to wait for Raghu to join us. Before we do that, let's start with understanding why did you decide to look at the boutique model. Lakshmi, would you like to go first?
So basically, I actually bought over an international PR agency when they wanted to exit the business, and probably I couldn't have managed it with huge organization. So I somehow kind of brought the concept together and made it um, a probably a thematic, and I kind of wanted to focus on a particular industry, not really wanted to go beyond. And that's when I came up saying we are a kind of a boutique PR agency, and where we are comfortable with an industry, whichever the industry that we are comfortable, we are confident. So I went with that, and that is where I kind of named it as boutique PR agency. So we specialize in particular industries. Wherever we can, we are confident we can deliver. Yeah, so that's where I call Encomium PR as a boutique PR agency.
Awesome. So Malvika and Suhasini, you had a choice between becoming a mid-size or a bigger agency in that sense, but you chose to remain boutique and you chose to create a boutique culture. Why did you decide to do so?
Um, okay, should I start first?
Sure.
Let's
Okay, so
Malvika.
for me, I think it was because I had done the whole work with bigger agencies, been in house. It really did take a toll where I was literally working. There were times when work and pitches and all are going forward, you're literally there till like 4 a.m., finish off and back in office at 9. It just took a toll on me, and I took a break, and I decided I wanted to come back, and this was something that I wanted to do because I just wanted to join someone and be somewhere where I felt like it's better to have a team that would be like-minded as opposed to working as a lone warrior. And it just worked out really well for me. And being in this space has touchwood proven to work for me. So that was my biggest thing for getting into Intellico and taking it where it is today also.
Brilliant. And I think Econium and Intellico have done a brilliant job. So Hasini, I'm going to modify the question a little bit for you. Where do you feel the boutique agency model wins? And we
Um,
have Raghu back with us, so I'm going to switch with Raghu.
okay. Where does the boutique model agency win? I think it wins in terms of giving quality output, in terms of rapport building, in terms of giving special and personalized attention to each client, and being able to deliver on the promises you make yourself. Instead of other people making promises on your behalf and you're trying to deliver those on those promises, which is usually how it works in larger agencies. So my take was that let's work with good clients. Let's do some quality work. Let's be happy doing our work. So I think the boutique model works very well in places where you need to focus on, giving special attention to each client. I think Raghu is having some problems. Raghu, are you there? Hey, Raghu.
I think we have Raghu back, yeah.
I think he's still trying to log in. Raghu, can you hear us?
Looks like
Apologies. I think Raghu's still having a few tech challenges. We'll wait for him to join back, but let's continue the discussion till he is back with us, right? When it comes to running an agency, apart from the business of the industry itself, of the business of running an agency, talent and brands are the two other key elements that kind of make what an agency is. So let's talk about that, right? How do you think the perception is, among the brand industry right now when it comes to boutique firms? Has 2020 made a change? Have you seen a increase in business happening because of being a boutique firm? Has that what has happened? Lakshmi, would you like to address this first?
Yeah, I think that is a good question. Like I mentioned before 2020, our focus was primarily in three, four industries. The 2020 has for sure taught us, widen our, the industries as well. Probably not in the beginning of 2020, there was not much of inquiries, but I think in the last 5 6 months there's been quite a good inquiries coming in. It's all through references, I would say. And yeah, I mean, it looks positive. I see going forward boutique agencies. That's because I think Suhasini rightly said it is not for the sake of taking account and then running a business. It is more giving a quality output in all way, whether it's colleagues or brands or media relationship and so on and so forth. So yeah, there is a positive approach or positive thought, and positive industry is positive, at least towards the boutique PR agencies. I see that.
That's so brilliant to hear. So Hasini and Malvika, would you want to add to that? What has been your experience?
Yeah, I think
So,
it's
so I
been.
think,
Go on, Malvika.
yeah, sorry, please start. No, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have seen a change in the last 20, 25 years in the industry. I've definitely seen a change. I mean, there was one time when companies used to, or brands used to want to speak to only large agencies. And I was working in one. But over the years, definitely, I mean, when I started out, it was an uphill task in terms of convincing clients and even converting clients once you got inquiries. But now it's much better. It's like so much better. We have brands, companies, startups, VCs, even large companies that are consciously taking the decision to work with boutique agencies, and that's just so wonderful to see.
That's so good to hear. Malvika, moderating the question a little bit for you. You all of you are based in different cities. Lakshmi, you're from Bangalore. Suhasini, you're from Mumbai. Malvika, you're from Delhi. Have you seen a specific change, when it comes to geographies in new client inquiries?
Yes, there is definitely a change as well, because I think there's a certain market. Like when brands also want to evolve, they look for a certain market. I actually had this conversation earlier as well that even with bigger agencies, if they don't want to bigger brands, if they don't want to go to a larger agency, they would rather hire somebody from a smaller boutique firm, somebody in the south, north, west, and place it that way. I just feel like there's a lot that when boutique firms even work together are able to achieve a lot more. And I think it's all about understanding what the client needs as well, and targeting certain geographies that would make a difference, and being able to match it according to the expectations. And the agency has to deliver on that. So definitely, I think boutique firms have that edge and advantage as well.
Absolutely. So we have Raghu back with us. I'm going to attempt to join our co-host back again.
Hi, hi. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Okay, now how about sourcing talent for your own agencies? I mean, how did you do? How do you guys did this in terms of getting talent? In the order you can take. Who wants to take? How did you manage to get the talent for you guys, Lakshmi?
For us, it's a great challenge for sure. Initially, we went with recruitment solution, which absolutely did not work. In terms of monetary thing. We pay agencies, and then The employees come 6 months, they leave. So what we kind of figured out is get interns and give them an opportunity when we find them really resourceful and very effective. So we offer them with the best salary, and that's how my colleagues who are working with us, couple of people have come in as interns and then have been working with us as colleagues for the last probably 3-4 years. Yeah.
You're very lucky, I have to say.
Yeah, that's
We have
nice.
a huge challenge. There's a huge challenge, I think, that happens when we have to hire people. I think for somebody to be in the PR industry, also you have to be smart. There's a certain skill set, and I also feel that when they come too young and you train them, they'll probably leave you quicker, faster. So we've had those issues as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a challenge. Like you have to scout the right people. There's a certain skill set that has to come with it, and yeah, it's challenging both ways. I mean, you have to always make the client happy. You have to also make sure that your team is working effectively, and somehow you get stuck in the middle, making sure that both are working simultaneously at the same time.
True.
True, very true. Yeah, I think talent is a challenge for everyone across industries, not just PR and not just boutique agencies. It's even so with larger agencies. It's maybe slightly more so with boutique agencies because I mean, we actually do offer a better culture and work environment, and in-depth hands-on work with each client. But I think it's the mindset. It used to be, but I feel that that's changing. That's been changing over the last few years, and
Yeah.
you have a lot of youngsters, willing to, choose to work with better work environments and, good clients to work with, and being able to actually take responsibility for decisions and promises, etc. So it's getting better for sure. But yes, talent has always been a challenge.
But challenge is to get the right talent, right?
Talent, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So,
Absolutely. What
Especially in the
I say is, if for boutique agencies, you need to find entrepreneurs. You need to, talent needs to be, I mean, each person is an entrepreneur. In our agency, I can say each person is an entrepreneur by herself, because you're taking personal responsibility for, what it is for each client that you're managing. And, we're not like flush with resources that, you have like 6 people teams handling a couple of
yeah.
clients. So it's a lot to do about being able to take on that responsibility, and being able to deliver on that,
Correct.
which is a little rare to find, though like I said, things
I
are changing.
I think it also comes down a lot to management style.
Yeah.
I think it also comes down to how you want to manage your team, because it's about retaining them and retaining the clients at the end of the day as well. But I think
Okay.
retaining the team and training them is also a very big challenge. Like there, people. I mean, I see youngsters who send in resumes who, I'm sorry to say, will not speak the most fluent English. And I think when you're approaching media people as well, you can't have someone who's going to stammer and stutter. You have to be smart about the way you're pitching it to your media, because you have to understand your brand as well and be proud to work on it also.
Yeah, I,
Absolutely.
I I strongly believe in that. I always say, when I took over the agency, first thing is I take care of employees. That is the vow that
Yeah.
I taken. I have to take care of the employees, and I'm sure employees will take care of the company. So, touch wood, I think that way I ensure my colleagues are all taken care very well. And for the last probably 4 years, they've been with me working together as a family. I think we've become more family. So I mean, I really kind of follow that strongly. Take care of the employees. I think they'll take care of you.
Absolutely, that's critical, I think. And
Yeah.
with smaller firms, you become really close with, every the team. The team really becomes close to each other.
Close. Yeah, exactly. That's right.
It's nice. Raghu, are you there?
I think we've lost Raghu again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the substitute co-host is back. So we'll wait for Raghu to join us. But this is a very interesting insight that all of you have shared about talent. But I want to pick your brains on how talent acquisition and talent management has been for a boutique firm, specifically in the last 1 year. I mean, the last year has brought a lot of people closer together as a business. Yet at the same time, it's created a lot of struggle within the industry as well, because of workload, because of existing conditions, preset conditions that have happened. So, what has last year been like in terms of talent management for you, and how have you dealt with it? Malvika, would you like to address
So
this first?
I think the workload has increased like 100 folds, definitely. Also, with this work from home culture, there's been a change in the way people work. I think a lot of people have felt overwhelmed. I know me for one as well. When the whole pandemic and lockdown happened, there was a change in the way we all worked, working from home, getting used to that, and then actually realizing like about 6 months, 8 months later that this is doable. But once you figure out it's doable, I think as someone who's in this industry, you have to be smart and you have to work smartly to say that these are my hours for work. This is what I'm going to do. And even though it's a work from home, I should be able to differentiate between delivering outside to my team, to my clients or whatever, and keeping that time for myself as well. So there's been a big change also. And I think a lot of the juniors as well have felt this. Like they feel very overwhelmed whether somebody reaches out to them or whether a client reaches out to them. But I think it's all about balance and adjusting that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Though it has been a little bit of a struggle, keeping everything together. And while a lot of us have been talking about teams, brands, etc., nobody really talks about the agency head, who has to kind of juggle all these balls together up in the air. So, Hasini and Lakshmi, I want to hear your perspective on how you have personally managed this.
I would go. The first thing, when we all work together in office, I think the we all kind of discuss and then put everything together, and then we all know, right? I mean, when you're working together in office, but when you're working from home, there's a lot of things. First of all five colleagues, you have to do different five calls, and then client calls, and then media. So you're actually three, four. You're always on the phone, and bringing everyone together, and then putting one point to all of colleagues. It was little difficult earlier, but now I think we kind of streamlined. Like Malvika said, I think it took us 3-4 months. It was overwhelming.
Adjust, yeah.
And because you're always on the phone, you don't know what you're talking to, who you're talking. Oh, it was absolutely difficult and challenge times. But then, we've kind of evolved, from there. And now we're better off probably sitting at home and working much better productively, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Suhasini, has onboarding new talent, in this work from home hybrid situation been a challenge, or has it made life easier for you?
Well, frankly, we haven't onboarded any new talent in the last 1 year since COVID. We have been managing as a small team. We've been managing work. Last year, we were fortunate that our long-term retainer clients were still with us, and so we could maintain stability in the system. This year, yes, certainly since the beginning of this year, we've had lots of calls, lots of new business calls, lots of projects, but somehow we've just managed quite smoothly. Like Lakshmi said, the first few months of last year were difficult for our colleagues, for the team to adjust to the new work from home environment. I think we discounted that a little bit in terms of productivity. It did go down in the first month, and then it picked up again. So I think we did all right.
Absolutely. Very crucial point you bring up. I'm going to ask my next question based on that. But before I do that, how many Zoom calls per day now? Lakshmi, give me a number. How many Zoom calls per day now? How many video calls per day now?
7 to 8. It
7 to
includes,
8.
yeah,
Okay.
it includes our team members, it includes client, it
Yeah,
includes new
it's
business.
numbers.
7 to
And
8. That's quite a lot. Malvika, how many
I
video
would I
calls?
would be close to about 3 to 4, but I just look at my Google Calendar every day and it's just blocked. Like it just keeps getting blocked. Like even next week is just getting filled up with timings and people will ask for timings and meetings always full.
Yeah, so Hasni, how about you? How many calls per day?
I think it's 3 to 4, but I still manage to have like one day without calls.
Oh,
Oh yeah, then
lovely.
there are those who call all the time without any appointment as well. You
I
just pick up
try
the phone.
I try and stick with one day. I try and avoid calls on that one day. Just like have a free day where you can think
Yeah.
and some real
That's
work.
brilliant. That's brilliant. But when you were talking about talent management at this point, it brings a question to mind, a very interesting one, which I believe will be very crucial for how we grow as an industry in the boutique segment. A lot of new work coming in, yeah, not a lot of new talent being onboarded, and yet there is a need. There is this entire segment of talented people who are out there who possibly would have lost jobs or have just entered the market. There seems to be a disconnect in all these three things. Where do how do you see us connecting all of it together? Because each of these three segments need the other. Yeah.
So
Uh,
I'll actually take this one just to start with. I think there's a disconnect because there is talent. There is talent, no doubt. There is talent from people who worked in bigger agencies. But if they're going to join a boutique firm, I think they also need to unlearn a certain way of working. There's a certain format and there's a certain culture also that a boutique firm brings in. And I think if you're smart and you're willing to fit in, you're able to do that. Otherwise, you just become one of those people who go back into the rat race as well.
yeah, that's a challenge. That's a challenge that we any which ways, irrespective of the pandemic or not the pandemic, we any which ways always face, because you need to decide how you want to live your life, based on that decide what agency to join, what is the size that you want to join, what is the quantum of work that you'd like to take on. So Asni and Lakshmi would like to hear your perspective also. How do you see us kind of merging these things together?
Lakshmi?
yeah. At this point in time, I think the last probably 1.5 years, we've kind of retained all, my colleagues, in the agency. So, like you rightly said, no, usually the talent comes in when you have more new good clients coming in. So I think in terms of talent, there is like you rightly said, there is a disconnect, and I'm sure that will build when as an agency, boutique agency, we also need to look at how the growth is. When the growth happens, I'm sure we all get connected, and that will soon happen. That will soon happen. Even like Malvika said, from the bigger agency, people need to, when they come into small agency, first of all, there is a taboo. Oh, I'm coming from bigger agency. How would the small agency? And they have to kind of learn a lot when they come in. I mean, mentally, also, they need to kind of set themselves and be open to learning things at any level, I would say.
Absolutely. I think mindset and attitude are very crucial when even switch jobs irrespective of the size of the agency you join. So Hasni, would you like to add a perspective to that?
Yeah, I think I'll go with what Lakshmi and Malvika have said. I mean, I think it's crucial to be flexible and adaptable. Boutique agencies provide an open playing field for being able to perform as well as you want to, and also a great learning experience, I would say, that you would rarely find outside. Smaller companies are always great learning grounds to grow. And that's how we have grown. I think each of us have grown the same way. We've been with larger agencies. We've been more entrepreneurial in those agencies. We learnt a lot, and that's how we moved on to starting our own agencies and being able to take on that work and that responsibility. So it's a lot to do about being flexible and adaptable as well.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Raghu for the next question.
Yeah. Okay. My question would be, mm, has the agency-client relationship changed with all this happening around for last, what, 18, 19 months? Uh, you can take it in the order that you want to take. No
Yeah.
personal meetings, Zoom calls or whatever. So has it affected the relationship?
No, for us it didn't. It didn't
Okay.
affect any relationships at all. We are very process driven, so we have the regular client engagement processes, which is weekly calls with each client. And I think everyone around has been pretty compassionate, pretty empathic with each other, be
Okay.
it clients, be it media. I think the whole culture has, to a certain extent, become very empathetic towards each other. So that's been good. We didn't have any major changes in terms of client relationships.
Okay. Malvika?
Um, we've had a slightly different experience. I think there have been challenges. Of course, it's great. The way of working has completely changed. I mean, with online meetings and all of that. But I think expectations have gone very high. I think there's too much pressure on everybody to perform, which then flows downward. Like brands, clients, all have an expectation of wanting everybody to over deliver, and I think that's also put in a lot of pressure. And I think for us, that's
Okay.
where we had to bring the balance in and work smartly.
Okay. Lakshmi, I mean, you are
Yeah,
so
I agree
media,
with.
you're media heavy, and how has media taken it? Because I know the spaces in media have reduced, and the challenges of getting the client into the media pages. What's your experience?
I would say it both ways, a positive and negative, not negative, constraint. In terms of client servicing, I think the relationship with clients for sure did not change, but the most stress, I would say, because getting into call and giving them, explaining them, we probably our volumes have increased now. Kind of thing. And then in terms of media, I think a lot of publication, I think most of the publication have gone into virtual space as well. So they have their own websites now. They're come up with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So a lot more opportunities, I would say. The positive side of it is, I think media has opened up. There's a lot more content. There's a lot more um, opportunities there in the virtual space of it. But having said that, the newspapers physically, yeah, the pages have come down, the spaces have come down, the opportunities have come down. Either way, so there's no complaint about it, because we now, I think everyone is in the virtual world, so it is fine, I guess, being all the publication being there on in virtual space as well.
I think we're about to lose Raghu again. There seems to be a glitch.
Not a problem. Yeah. No, that's interesting, Lakshmi. You talk about media space as well. Though I do feel that a lot of the boutique agencies have been at the forefront of bringing about a change in what a PR professional or a PR agency is, meant to do. And I think they've been good. They've been driving the fact that it goes beyond just media outreach and media output. How has your experience been, and are there any key aspects that you have introduced with your clients, that have got them to change the perception of what PR does? So, Hasni, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think clients have been more understanding, when you explain to them the practical aspects of working in a post-COVID environment, where, excuse me, media has also been working out of home. They are under a lot of pressure. There have been a lot of changes with the media also. They have been downsizing in so many media houses. And so
Right.
media has been going through, there have been a lot of COVID cases as well. So it's been tough for the media as well, and we try and explain it practically to the client as well. Like it might take time for your interview to be published, for example. It might take more time when it took lesser time a bit pre-COVID. It might take a little more time now. So please be patient. And they are I think they are a little more understanding now as well. But yes, like Lakshmi said, now there are far more avenues. There's a lot of audio and video content going out, which we've started tapping. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts happening as well. So
Right.
there are other avenues that have opened up and that are being tapped now for clients. And clients are also opening up to working across all these mediums.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lakshmi, how about you? Have you looked at introducing any specific thing that goes beyond media? And has your client kitty been receptive towards that?
Here, I think for PR, I'm sure everyone will agree. When the media moved from the physical newspaper to the virtual space, even our thought process, our ideas, our plan, our strategy also kind of slowly, transformed into the digital space as well. So we kind of took a step back and understood which are the publication which has a wide, option, and we kind of read the media space across India, and then we went back to the clients. What, this is a great opportunity for you to be there, because somewhere I think clients also understood now it is only the virtual world is what is right in front of them, and it is coming closer to their hands. Earlier they have to go out and then get and wait for the stories to come. Now the space has come to their hands, and we just need to kind of direct them. Okay, you be in this publication, in this space. It's more closer to your consumer. So I think the virtual space has brought consumers and the brands probably very close, as compared to it was earlier.
Okay, okay, interesting. Malvika, has that been your experience, or do you get still
Uh,
requests? You still get
for
requests
sure,
for I
for
want
sure.
that print piece.
For sure, also for us, it's been educating brands about how to work and how it's changed. I mean, if it's changed for us, it's changed for the media as well. And digital has become such a big space. And I
Right.
think brands have also, it's taken them time though, because earlier on, everybody always wanted print. It was always print stories. There's a reason why I think when they also come to an agency, you want to break away from the whole cookie clutter approach and say that this is what we're going to do differently and this is what we're doing differently now. And I think this is here to stay for a while, because it's changed the way we work and changed the way we see media, and brands, the way they are also expecting coverages now.
That's wonderful to hear. I think client education has become a key part of everything that we do in PR, and it's even more essential now with the way things are changing. When you were talking about how the industry has changed, there's a very interesting question that has come in, which I'd like to ask you. Right. Uh, when we spoke about clients extending a lot of empathy in during the pandemic, now that workloads have increased, client expectations have been reset, a lot more is being asked of every agency, especially when you're boutique and you're servicing that one big client. Has the blanket of empathy been extended to 2021? Does it still exist, or do you see it kind of receding back, and a different kind of pressure being put in terms of earlier deliverables? Yeah.
I think
It
Uh,
pressure
has.
will always be there.
Sorry,
There's,
Malvika, would you like to go first,
oh,
and
sorry,
then
no,
I'll
let's
move
ask you, go,
to me and
go first,
Lakshmi.
go. Yeah.
No, it's all
Malvika,
right.
No, I just wanted
okay,
to say that the
fine.
pressure will always be there.
Okay, Malvika, I'd like you to address this first, and then Suhasini and Lakshmi, and then we have Raghu back with us for the next question.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add in my 2 bits to say that pressure will always be there. The pressure's never going to go anywhere. It's just a matter of how you choose to handle it and adapt to it and change with it with times as well. So yeah, sorry, Suhasini, over to you.
Then I absolutely agree with you, Malvika. The
Okay, so
pressures.
I'm going to change the question for you then.
Okay.
How do you see your teams handling this pressure?
I think they're handling it very well. They do need, you do, as an agency head, you do need to handhold them a little bit on the changing scenario. And it is a really dynamic scenario, especially that we work with startups and it's really dynamic, the environment. So it's changing every day. So the challenges, moving every day. But yeah, I think as an agency head, if you handhold and if you have those regular calls, you have those teammates, those huddles, uh, those little encouragement bits going in as well, that helps a lot.
Okay. Lakshmi, if you could address this from an entrepreneur's perspective, as a boutique agency owner, there is a different kind of pressure that you would have because you have to kind of make sure that everything is working seamlessly. Do you miss having, let's say, a few other partners who can share the load with you? Or as a boutique firm, you are equipped and you feel that, you managing on your own works best for you?
Uh, I think, in my opinion, I think managing on my own works better, at least in this scenario, because I had a partner, and then things kind of didn't, come together, and so I kind of, took over. Um, at the end of the day, receiving end, I'm sure everyone will agree, whether it's media, whether it's colleague, whether it's clients. I think receiving end is, at the end of the day, us. um, yeah, I mean, it did, kind of impact and affect, as a person and our work also. But then I think, like Malvika and Suhasini said, we kind of put ourselves like water, so go with the flow and understand, and kind of design accordingly, and then work like that. That's how the situation, because so uncertain, right? So yeah, we
We
can't
can't
hear
hear
you.
you, Tara. Are you on mute?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna thank you so much for sharing that. It's always nice to hear from different perspectives on how you're handling the increasing pressure and possibly the changing landscape of media, as well as I think the definition of PR as such. So I'm gonna hand it over to Raghu for the next question. Raghu, over to you.
I think Raghu's on mute as well.
You're
You're
on
on
mute.
mute.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys handle, array of clients. Who's more easier to handle, the startup or the established brands?
We might as well toss a coin.
Handled and come, Mr. Ram. You know it.
No, I'm just asking because I know all are demanding in that sense, but in current context, who's more demanding?
That's a difficult one to answer.
Yeah, I
I
was going to
said,
say both come with their challenges. Both come with a set of challenges. I think startups are very eager to reach that place to say that yes, we've made it, whereas those who've made it want more. So there's always those are the challenges I think with
yeah, it's a different set of challenges. It's not like one is better than the other. It's a different set of challenges and different set of expectations as well.
Okay.
So I agree
Okay. Here
with.
is one. Yeah. Okay. Here is one question coming from a Facebook guy. He says, "How do you guys educate clients to go digital?" Pretty interesting question. I mean, not that one can ignore, but how do you guys educate him to go digital?
So I think for us as an agency, our biggest learning has also been to show them who their competitors are and where, like to do a media mapping on that and show them exactly where they're being placed. To say that, this is what we can do as well. You don't always have to stick to print. There's so many more digital options. And if you see other brands doing it, I think that whole mindset needs to change by also showing them and saying that, these are your competitor brands and this is what we're doing and this is what we should do and probably try to do it better. That's how we would do it with our clients at least.
Okay. Suhasini?
We don't really look at the competitive mapping, but we do prepare digital strategies for clients that we feel can do more in the digital space. So we do prepare and present strategies, slightly more in-depth strategies, as well as creative ideas on how they can do better in the digital space.
Okay. So Lakshmi, I'll tweak it for you. How much reliance on social media and how much reliance on traditional print media?
See, now here again, it's just not traditional, it's just not social media. Now the traditional, digital, and social media. I think it across be it publication, even for PR agencies. PR agencies, probably 2 years back, where we are all were, kind of learned in terms of the print media when the print media got into digital space of their own websites and their social media platforms, there was kind of, as PR professionals, we also had to kind of learn the entire digital space of it. And then social media comes. I think social media almost it's anyway parallelly connected and parallelly go together. But digital space really making a big difference. I know everyone is in the social media platforms. I think in the last probably 2 years, we would have seen even LinkedIn become more, kind of a busy platform for everyone who have not been on LinkedIn for the last 5 years or so on and so forth. It is a learning process for everyone. So what we learn is what we are educating. So it's become probably a little more easier to educate clients. And I think some of the clients already know they want to be here, and you guys have to. So we are also learning. I think it's going hand in hand, I'm guessing.
Great. Good one. Good one. Okay, another question coming. So what is that you enjoy being a boutique firm? All of you. Suhasini.
Well, I can say yes or no to the clients that I want to work with.
Okay.
So jokes apart. I mean,
But
I
as a
truly
journey, okay.
sorry.
No, as a journey, how are you enjoying this space?
Oh,
Being a
it's been
boutique
great.
firm.
It's just I don't think I would have it any other way. I mean, my early days, I used to, start visualizing, creating my resume and sending it to some companies for a job, but gradually that died out. Yeah, I don't think I would have it any other way. It's been a great journey. It's more than 16 and a half years because I did freelancing another year and a half or 2 years before that. So it's been like almost 18 years of being on my own. And it's been a great journey. I mean, it's a challenge. Of course, every day is a new challenge. And as an entrepreneur, I mean, day 1 challenge, day 100 challenge, day 2000, 3000, 5000 is just challenge all over the place. And the same kind of pressure. But I think that's what makes us tick. So,
Malvika.
uh, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of personal growth and satisfaction that comes from when you even work with startups or even established brands. You grow with them when you see them grow as well. So I think that has been the most enjoyable thing, and that's something that I don't think I got that kind of satisfaction working with the larger agency. It was just you were just one of them who was just in it to win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. Lakshmi.
I think for me, I always tell my colleagues also, put yourself in clients' shoes. I think when you think it that way, things will work out much better. Otherwise, most of the time we are always fighting. Whatever client says, then we justify everything. I mean, this in the past I have seen. I think after I have taken over, I always, if client comes with a problem, I put myself in their shoes and then think and then come up with a solution. I think that has been a great learning for me, and I keep telling everyone. I think that is the only way we can work as a team, even with clients, than justifying, what we did was right and what we did was wrong.
Excellent. Excellent. So another question here. It says, do you think boutique agencies are the future of PR industry going forward? Malvika.
I think so. I think that this is their time to shine and rise, and I think boutique agencies have really proved their merit at least the last couple of years. There's a reason why brands also prefer to work with boutique agencies. So I think definitely there is a huge future for boutique agencies stand out.
Lovely. Suhasini?
Yes, I think we are going to coexist with larger agencies, but I increasingly see that people do prefer to work with boutique agencies, even larger companies. They may work with multiple agencies even. So a larger company or an MNC might have a large PR agency working with them, but they might give some certain parts of their work and projects to boutique agencies because they know, that's their specialization and that's their niche. So I think specialization, niche, experience, personal attention, and like Lakshmi said, like putting yourself in their shoes to understand their issues and problems. We have the time and the ability to do that, and we have the keenness to do that. More importantly, we want to do that. That's the way we want to lead our lives as PR professionals, as boutique agencies.
Lakshmi?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of them. They've answered uh, everything. I agree with them totally.
Okay. But you feel that this is the future, that a lot more brands or corporates would embrace.
I surely foresee that. I think probably I'm not blaming anyone because I've also worked in a bigger agencies and have come. I think brands are getting probably more attention from the. When I say attention, I think that's a quick turnaround, personal attention, like Suhasini said, and anything that we are at their call. Which I think everyone in including us, we look for that. So yeah, quite a. I mean, it's just a separate segment altogether, which is going to grow.
Okay. So, but how do you expect that challenges from the bigger agencies, being a roadblock to you guys?
For me, no one is competition to me. I keep telling everyone, no one is competition to me. I have a circle. I have my colleagues. I have my clients. We are very happy with it. We are also. I'm very happy and glad. I'm in a position where I can also tell clients, sorry, we can't work because we don't want unnecessarily. At least that is what the boutique agencies do. No, we don't want unnecessarily promise and then not deliver and get kind of get into the bad books. So we are very careful in terms of taking clients. Like I in the beginning I told, whichever industry we are comfortable with, whichever team members we are comfortable, it's like first client relationship and then the industry that we work, and the media relation and the team relationship. I think everything works on relationship. I think if you have a great relationship with all these aspects, I'm sure it's really good, or probably a great key factor for boutique agencies to grow way beyond. And then boutique agencies, I'm sure, like Suhasini said, we are not running behind top 10. We're not running behind bigger agencies. We are happy in our own circle and no competitions. And if possible, if some clients that we can't work with, I usually refer it to my other friends in the industry, so let them also grow. Absolutely fine.
Great. Suhasini, Malvika, you want to add something more to that?
I'm good with
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, I think I mean, it's an environment of collaboration now. So, like Lakshmi said, if we can't handle something, I pass it on, because I feel I may not have the capabilities to do it. I may pass it on to somebody else, to handle it. And I've seen that with larger agencies as well. I mean, I've passed on clients to larger agencies, and they've passed on clients to me.
Lovely.
So it's a happy coexistence and collaborative environment now that people are moving towards.
Yeah.
Great.
True.
And one big challenge that you guys expect at the end of 21 for PR agencies in particular? Anyone?
I think it's
The
important
challenge.
for us to learn and grow quickly, uh, you know, and with the changing environment. with the new mediums that are coming in. We also need to be more flexible and adaptable to the new technologies, the digital area, the social media, everything. So I think that's going to be the key for us, to continue the learning curve.
Great. Malvika, you want to add something?
No, I actually agree with Suhasini. I think it's all about evolution. It's all about being able to adapt and change. And it's all about your employees as well being able to understand that, because I think there's a lot of unlearning that all us as PR professionals have had to do in the last year and a half as well. And yeah, I think that's been the biggest challenge. And it's going to be here because there are new things that come up every day. And you're going to have to learn to change with times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Suhasini and Malvika. I think every day is a new learning. Every day is a challenge. So keeping our mind and options open and go with the flow, like I said, it is at this current scenario. I think going with the flow is very very key. Keeping your options and mind open to learn new things.
Excellent. And the last question before we wind up, one area of growth that you guys see for boutique agencies in the coming year, 2022. Malvika, you can start, and then Suhasini, and then Lakshmi.
I think one area of growth for sure is a more comprehensive 360 approach, which I think boutique agencies do that. They cater to giving an overall outlook to the brand that they're working with. So I think that in itself is something that would set a boutique agency apart from somebody else. And I think that would be it. And just growing with times and changing with times. I mean, there's so much other than just digital. There's influencer management. There's different forms of marketing, social media that has also come into play, which is all a part of the PR world. So I think that's what it is.
Great. Suhasini?
I think it's the convergence of various mediums that we need to focus on for our clients in the future.
Great. Lakshmi, your take?
Yeah, the various mediums we need to identify and add value to what we share with the clients.
Great. So thank you, Lakshmi, Malvika, and Suhasini for taking your time out, being part of PRPOI, weekly interaction and sharing knowledge with the PR contenders in this space. And I also thank PRPOI, the curators, Tarun, Sonali, Pooja, for putting this act together and keeping us educated and learn and unlearn through the platform PRPOI. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving this opportunity to
Anytime.
speak what
Yeah,
we
it's been a
felt.
fun session. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.